All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And gumagalaw bang aking face? Ayan. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Ayan. So we are seeing people are starting to trickle in, no, sa Zoom natin. Ayan. So let's just wait siguro for one more minute. Pasensya na po sa delay, but we will make sure that we will end on time today. No? So, ayan. Um, Siguro while we're waiting for people to log in sa ating Zoom call today, maybe you can post on the chat where are you zooming in, no? Nasaan tayo ngayon? Ayan. So currently I am in Tarlac. So I'm zooming in from Tarlac City. So yeah. Okay. Disabled daw yung chat. Sige. Um, Baka in a few seconds, okay na rin. So, sige. Anyway, pwede pa rin naman later for that, no? So, ayan. So, siguro, I'm seeing people are starting to, ayan, dumarami na tayo dito sa Zoom and I'm sure also on Facebook, no? Magsa-start na rin dumami yung mga tao. So, again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our first learning session for this year on using digital tools in teaching psychology courses. This session is one of many activities that we have slated for this year. I am Junix De Los Santos, co-chair of the Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group of the Psychological Association of the Philippines. Before we begin, I would like to share some housekeeping rules no, to uh, keep our webinar, the flow of our webinar smooth for today. So first of all your microphones are muted as you come into this Zoom space so that we can hear our speakers clearly. If you have any questions or comment, we can use the chat function. So I'm seeing some messages are being posted now. You may type your question also on the Q&A function. No? Pwede rin natin i-gather from that section no, of the Zoom webinar. For those of you who are on Facebook, we have a member of our team who will be getting the questions from Facebook. So, yeah. Um, to avoid the disruption of the flow of our program for this afternoon, our speakers will be entertaining questions towards the end of our webinar this afternoon. So there. Uh, Again, we are delighted to have you here with us this afternoon for this event from the PAP Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group. A little backgrounder before I call on Pat. The Teaching Psychology Special Interest Group is a recognized unit under the Psychological Association of the Philippines, and it aspires for a community of competent, creative, and compassionate Filipino psychology teachers committed to the pursuit of excellence in teaching and learning of psychology. Our event today is in collaboration with a valued partner, the U.S. Agency for International Development. And today we will be introducing the first of its kind, the Lusog Isip products, the Lusog Isip app and website, which are culturally adapted self-help app and website on mental health and wellness for Filipinos. The aim of this webinar is to acquaint psychology teachers with readily available and open access digital tools to increase student engagement and enhance learning. And to formally welcome us into this space, let us call on our chairperson of the PAP Teaching Psychology FIG, Miss Pat Kathleen Dion Datul Ramirez. Hello, Pat. Welcome.
Thanks, Junix. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and Happy New Year to all. Ayan. So, if Junix is now in Tarlac, I'm now in North Caloocan. So, kamusta po kayong lahat? 2023 na. And with the attempt to continue the efforts of the previous chairperson and the co-chair of the Teaching Psychology SIG, Junix and I wanted to offer assistance to all of you all psychology teachers and all the other teachers from different profession who can benefit from this webinar, especially now, diba, that we are about to start another semester. Changes from fully online to hybrid or high flex, and some even going back to fully on-site modality. All those changes make it extra hard for us to prepare modules, syllabus, teaching and learning plans and materials. That is why we are very grateful and even more excited for our friends from USAID Renew Health for this seminar as they launch and acquaint us with the Lusog ISIP app and the Lusog ISIP website. Um, just to share, when I've learned about the app, I've started using it in some of my classes, and it was really helpful for me and also for my students. Kaya sana ay kayo din, you would learn a lot from this webinar and you would consider trying to use both the app and the website and integrate it in whatever topics that would be beneficial na handle nyo ngayong parating na semester. And with that, hindi ko na patatagalin, no? Ibabalik ko ang virtual floor natin kay Junix para ipakilala niya sa atin kung sino ang makakasama natin sa araw na to.
Alright, thanks Pat, ayan. So saktong-sakto nga 'no, parang pasukan sa Lunes for most of us. So ayan, nagpe-prepare ng syllabi yung mga tao, yung mga teachers natin. So, siguro before I move on, yan, so nakita natin sa chat 'no, parang, we are not just national but global. Because I saw meron yata tayo from Cambodia na nagzo-Zoom with us and also from China, ayan. So we also have people from NCR, other parts of Luzon. We also have and Visayas and Mindanao. So welcome po. Ayan. So baka din no, it would be also nice to ask kung anong school kayo no affiliated yung mga teachers natin no. Baka you can also share on the chat. And also post na rin yung link to the registration for today's activity. Ayan. So siguro before I welcome our speakers no for this afternoon no, just a little siguro backgrounder lang no, on what we have. No? So last October, the USAID Renew Health Project, in collaboration with PAP special interest groups on teaching psychology and also substance use prevention, uh, disseminated an online survey on mental health and substance use in the workplace. Here, we found out that there are only a few schools and workplaces which are confident or satisfied with the quality of services available for mental health and substance use. A majority of the respondents also shared that there is a lack of prevention materials, screening and treatment programs, and service providers in both schools and workplaces when it comes to mental health and substance use treatment services, uncovering a need for self-help tools and resources for clients that is both for student and employee. And to address this gap, the Department of Health, with the support of the USAID Renew Health Project, developed the Lusog ISIP app and the Lusog ISIP website. And this afternoon, no, we are happy to have with us Mr. Patrick Angeles, the the coordinator of Department of Health, and Dr. Camille Yusay, social and behavior change team lead from the USAID Renew Health Project, who will share with us what Lusog ISIP is and also introduce the various features and of both technologies. No? So yeah. So let us all welcome our speakers for this afternoon. Hi, Patrick and Camille. No, yeah. So take it away. Thank you.
Ayan. Hi everyone, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to the Psychological Association of the Philippines for giving us this opportunity to share about the Busog Isip products. So again, my name is Patrick Luis Angeles. I am the DOH Program Development Officer of USAID Renew Health. So I work for USAID Renew Health, and I coordinate our different projects with the Department of Health. So with me is Dr. Camille Yusay.
Hello, hi everyone. Good afternoon.
Sige. So we'll get started on the first segment of our presentation. Junix, next slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So first, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Lusog Isip mobile application. So the Lusog Isip mobile app, it was launched in October 2021. So yeah, noong 2021. So this was actually developed during the pandemic pa. When we started working with the Department of Health, there was this need talaga to deliver evidence-based mental health interventions for our general population in the Philippines, which was very difficult at the time of the COVID-19 pandemic. So one of the innovations that they wanted to explore was how to use different digital technologies in order to still reach people when face-to-face interventions was very challenging. So the Lusog Isip app was developed. This is the first evidence-based mobile app for mental health and self-care developed for Filipinos and by Filipinos. So during the development process, we consulted different agencies, different organizations, including the PAP, the PGCA, government agencies like the Department of Health. And of course, when this was developed, we also pilot tested it in order to understand how effective it would be when compared to more traditional interventions. So the Lusog Isip app, it provides a variety of self-screening and self-help modules and interventions tested in the Philippines to help users build healthier habits. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, we provided here a QR code that you can scan with your mobile phone, and it will direct you to whichever app store you're using. So if you're on an iPhone, it will direct you to the App Store. If you're on an Android phone, it will direct you to the Google Play Store. So flash that muna. So we tested this prior to the launch. So this was during September 2021. So I'm not sure, maybe some of your institutions also participated in this. And during the testing phase, we did see an increase. So it was effective in increasing the overall well-being of its users, as well as developing different coping strategies, including emotional relief and cognitive reappraisal. So reframing in different problems that people encounter. So next slide, I'll show a little bit about the features. Sir Junix, yeah. So the way Lusog Isip works is that when you are registering, the first time you download it, it will ask you to register for an account so that you can just log in on other devices as well. So the first step is a self-screening to build self-awareness on your current well-being and inclination towards ways of coping with stress. So since this was developed during the pandemic, and this was through a mobile app, it really emphasizes the need for developing self-help developing the self-help capacities, the self-coping strategies of its users. So the two screening tools that it uses are, one, the WHO-5 well-being scale. So this was developed by the World Health Organization. It's a 5-item questionnaire that looks at the overall well-being of an individual. Then you also have the Filipino coping strategy scale. So this was developed here in the Philippines. It's a 57-item scale that looks at different coping strategies. So yung coping strategies it looks at includes religiosity, cognitive reappraisal, emotional release, social support, and also substance use, if that's something that the user is inclined towards. So once a person completes these two surveys, they are directed to this dashboard, which presents you results from the survey and also allows them to navigate through different interventions. So through the results, it also recommends different interventions that can be used. These interventions are again leading towards self-help. These are self-paced and self-directed interventions, features accessible throughout the app. So right now, the modules that are included here are those that also have been tested in the Philippines. So this includes the Katatagan modules developed by the Psychological Association of the Philippines, the spiritually informed cognitive behavioral intervention, the compassion and forgiveness-based intervention. So these two were also developed here in the Philippines by Filipino psychologists. And then you have the Doing What Matters in Times of Stress. This was developed by the World Health Organization. And Ginhawa, the General Intervention for Health and Wellbeing Awareness. So this was developed by the USAID Renew Health. So these are the workbooks attached to these different interventions, and they've been formatted for a self-help format. Aside from this, we also have a mood journal so that people can track their moods throughout the days, as well as tracking whatever triggers them to experience these particular moods. Aside from these features, it also allows users to access more direct services. So there's a directory here. If a user feels like hindi enough yung mga self-help interventions that are provided by the app, they can go to this directory and then look up different mental health and psychosocial support providers throughout the Philippines, whoever is near them. So yeah, so that's the current status of the app. Next slide, please, Junix. And so as of December 31, 2022, we have 10,341 users throughout the Philippines. Majority of the users are in the younger age group from 18 to 30. They make up 60% of the user base, with the age group 21 to 25 making up the largest share. The larger percentage of the users are also female. Almost 3/4 of the user base was a quarter male, identifying as male. And of the employment status naman, 50% are employed, and almost 40% who use the app are students. The remainder are unemployed or self-employed. So this is very important because one of the things that the Department of Health is leaning toward this year is looking at healthier settings. So looking at workplace and school settings, how to develop mental health interventions in those settings. So this is the current status, and can we look at the next slide? So now we're also in the process of developing version 2.0. So for this, we wanted to look at screening for substance use to be able to better link with drug treatment and rehabilitation services. So USAID Renew Health, we really created to help develop help expand access to community-based drug rehabilitation services here in the Philippines. So we have this inclination towards building interventions for substance use. So we want to include screening for substance use to better link with drug treatment and rehabilitation services. So the intervention or the screening tool we're looking at here is the Assist Light, the alcohol, smoking and substance involvement screening test. So this is a short form that will help us look at kung ano yung risk level ng user and then direct them to other services. So we're also looking at social media sharing. So this is what's coming for version 2.0, but also we also wanted to acknowledge the limitations of mobile platform. So you can do a lot with the app already, but there are of course certain limitations in what it can do. We uncovered this during the pilot testing, and this has been a consistent feedback na it's been very helpful, pero we wish there were more as well. And that's why we are now exploring developing a website version of the app as well. And to talk more about that, we have Dr. Camille Yusay. So Camille.
Ayan, thank you so much, Pat, for that introduction of the Lusog Isip app. So next slide, please. Ayan. Sige. Ayan, I hope you can still see the screen no, on the Lusog Isip Online. Something that also complements the Lusog Isip Online, Lusog Isip app that was shared earlier by Pat, is the Lusog Isip Online website, and this is on its pilot phase. So it will be launched in the first quarter of this year in pilot phase nila, and hopefully in partnership with the DOH, it will be launched in the second quarter. So what is the Lusog Isip Online or Lusog Isip website? It is the extension of the Lusog Isip app na pinakita kanina ni Sir Patrick, no? It is an online resource that includes mental health as well as substance use prevention information. And as we all know, substance use is a health issue, right? And the target audience of this website is for the general adult population, as well as high school students. So it contains several resources. This includes the self-care resources where you can find information on mental health, on how to take care of yourself, what are ways that you can cope with stress, as well as substance use and addiction information to also inform people what are the negative effects of substances, how does relapse happen, what to do when you relapse, If you're concerned about your substance use, it can be cigarettes, alcohol, drugs. What can you do? And it also includes free online courses. Yes, that's for free, no? And we will show it later, that you can accomplish or you can go through. And finally, there, similar to Lusog Isip app, there is a directory on mental health professionals and clinics. Next slide, please. Ayan, so here in this slide, you can see what is included in the self-care resources page of the website. In the resources page, you will see different repository of products, no, or resources. So it includes the Doing What Matters in Times of Stress by World Health Organization. So it's a illustrative guide or a workbook, no, na it teaches you what can you do to cope, especially during stressful times. It is available in Filipino and English, and as well as audio guides are also available in Filipino and English. So aside from that, you will also find Care for Yourself materials or self-care materials by DOH or the Department of Health. So one of their priority areas is caring for the self and caring for others. And they have created several videos. I'm not sure if you've seen it online in their YouTube or Facebook page on mental health, especially during the pandemic. And it is all compiled here, as well as audio guides for mindfulness and from the Psychological Association of the Philippines. So my compilation yon. And then as you can see below, there are information on substance use and addiction. Maybe let's move to the next slide. I think we'll see what's inside. Yan. So dito na, you can see in the next slide the compilation of videos from Department of Health. You will also see the mindfulness practice resources as well as audio guides that you can access for free. So the audio guides for mindfulness includes Tagalog, Bisaya, as well as English. So if you're not comfortable in listening to Tagalog, there are different dialects as well. Yan. So next. Yan. So pinakita na. Next slide, please. And here. Now you can browse again, as I mentioned earlier, information on substance use and addiction. So what are the negative effects of using substances? So usually for users, the negative effects, some might know what are the usual negative effects, but here is a compilation of the other effects in our health, no, especially for adolescents and young adults. They also, in this resource page, you can also see what are the strategies to prevent relapse. So if you have stopped smoking, or if you have stopped drinking or doing substances, no, and then experienced relapsing or lapsing, ano yung pwede nyong gawin? So may mga resources din dito to help you with that, as well as additional Department of Health videos on smoking cessation, saying no to drugs, as well as avoiding alcohol use or responsible alcohol use as well. Ayan. Next slide, please. So yan yung resources page. And then we have, as I mentioned, free courses in this website. So the courses here are the Katatagan Online. The Katatagan Online is a self-help program, especially for those who are experiencing stress and wish to become more resilient. So it's a resiliency program talaga, building that. It's for adults 18 and above. While the Ginhawa program, or the General Intervention on Health and Well-being Awareness program, or course, is for adults 18 and above. But this program aims to address the needs of low-risk substance users. So if you find yourself smoking or drinking, no, na low risk naman, or using substances, This course is helpful, no, to let you know what is included in your well-being. How does stress affect your body, your mind, and how do we cope healthily when it comes to stress, and how to avoid unhealthy coping like substance use. So that's another course, no, that's for free. And lastly, for 13 to 18-year-olds, especially the high school students. So if you have students who are in high school, this is a good course for them. It's Lusog Isip Kabataan Education. So the videos here in Lusog Isip Kabataan Education is based on the Mind School videos of the Mind Museum that we recently partnered with last year. So in this course, they will go through 6 modules, and in the 6 modules, they will process, or they will have processing or discussion questions that they will answer. I think we can go deeper into each course in the next slide. Ayan. So in Katatagan Online, it was initially developed by Psychological Association of the Philippines, SIG, on mental health and psychosocial support and substance use prevention and recovery in partnership with the Ateneo de Manila University. So there are 6 resilience skills that are in focus, or we want to build in this course. No, first is recognizing one's strength, and then how to manage stress, how to manage negative thoughts and emotions. So if you are teaching a class, no, that has emotion regulation or some sort of reframing, this course also has that. And managing lifestyle and behaviors, problem solving and seeking support. So teaching people or teaching individuals how to problem solve, and meaning making and planning for the future. So these are the courses or the modules inside this course. For Ginhawa naman, next slide, please. Ayan, so there are 3 modules in the Ginhawa program. So again, it's a general intervention that includes preventive education or psychoeducation and self-help, particularly for those with low-risk substance use. Again, substance use here does not only mean drugs, but also cigarette smoking or drinking alcohol. Yun. So again, it talks about well-being, effects of stress, healthy ways they can cope. So especially for students, no, high school man yan or college, talking about substances may be a little bit uncomfortable sa start, no? But here, we want to really show people that substance use is a health issue, and we really tackle health or mental health first, because again, sometimes, or based on data then, substance use is a way to cope, no, or an unhealthy way to cope. So that is the direction of this website. So again, module 1 covers well-being, assessing their own well-being, and then covering stress, what are ways to cope with stress, talking about unhealthy coping, like cigarette smoking, alcohol use, drugs, and then identifying the difference between use and addiction, so that they are also informed, diba? Ano ba talaga yung substance use lang and addiction? And then, what are the triggers for using cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs? What are the common myths about it? And identifying elements of effective communication, and for them to learn how to say no or refuse. So may refusal skills din dito. Yeah, next slide, please. And then I mentioned earlier about Lusog Isip Kabataan. So the episodes here, as you can see, are from the Mind School episodes. Last year, we partnered, or the US Aid Renew Health Project partnered with Bonifacio Art Foundation, or I think mas common sa inyo yung Mind Museum, no? So these are 23 to 25-minute videos talking about stress, what can you do to cope with stress, what are the unhealthy ways to cope, like using cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs, and what are the effects of this, and how do you avoid using cigarillo, alak, at droga, and refusal skills. So what will you do if may pumipili talaga na gumamit ka, lalo na sa mga high school, no? Especially in teens being very curious or having parang if they have a barkada or kasama sa na friends who would push them to use drugs. And we end with paano maging maginhawa. So how do you live a healthy lifestyle? You know, how yun. So these episodes are translated into courses or modules in the Lusog Isip Kabataan Education course. So again, it has 6 modules. And in each module, there will be discussion questions that they can type in their responses, and people or those who are also enrolled in the course can respond, no, or like their responses. So it's very interactive and very experiential learning exercise. Ayan. Next slide, please. And lastly, the self-help directory offers a mental health or user-friendly and validated directory by Mental Health PH. So this is already up and running. No, you can click on the link and then type in your location, and then it gives, or Mental Health PH gives the different facilities and services near your location. And it includes crisis hotline. So if someone needs information or numbers kaagad, it's already there. And you can also download the Lusog Isip app through the QR code. Yeah. Next slide, please. Ayan. So can you go back na lang? Ayan, go back to the last slide. Ayan, so that is the Lusog Isip online or website. It is in its pilot stage. We will share a poster later if you would want to utilize this for your course, so that your students can easily download or access it via a QR code or a link. All right. So siguro before we move on to the next part of this webinar, let's have, nakita nyo na yun kanina, let's have a quick learning check. Oh, parang teacher talaga, Patrick, no? Parang let's have a quick learning check via Kahoot. And I'm sure a lot of you who are teachers, who are professors here or instructors, have utilized Kahoot during your online classes in the past, 3 years, 2 years. Ayan, so can I ask assistance from Jonah or King to put in the chat box the link to the Kahoot game. But if you cannot click the link, go to Kahoot, www.kahoot.it, and then put the game pin 2810063 or scan the QR code on the screen. So first 40 players will be recognized. So this Kahoot can only accommodate 40 people. So we hope that you can log into this and join the game. What is in store for you? Okay? Kung sino man manalo will receive a merch from the USAID Renew Health team. All right? So let's wait for more participants. So we can see Dee, Paul, Jason, Eden, Janine, welcome. Ayan, in true instructor, nature, kailangan may learning check. Okay. Ilan pa ba? So again, you can just scan the QR code if you have your phone. You can play this game on your phone, or go to www.kahoot.it and then type in the game pin, which is 2810063. Especially those for those in Facebook, you can also join the game. Just type in the game pin as you go to the Kahoot page, 2810063. Again, first 40 participants will be acknowledged, ayan, or can join the game. So don't worry, it's just a quick learning check. Hindi naman to exam, hindi naman siya quiz. Learning check lang talaga siya. So I hope those who have joined here were very attentive in our session about the Lusog Isip app and Lusog Isip online. Ayan, okay. Sino pa gusto mag-join? 23 participants. Meron pa ba? Sige, let's start. Okay. So welcome to the ayun, meron pa isa. Si King. Okay. Dumadami pa. Sige. So for the instruction, no, you will have around 20 seconds to answer the question. Each question will be 20 seconds each, and then it's a mix of multiple choice and true or false. So very easy learning check. We have a total of 28, 29. Sige, once we hit 30, we will start this learning check. Ayan. Okay, sumobra na tayo. Sige. All right, so let's start the game. I hope you can see the screen. First question, what course in Lusog Isip was developed by the PAT SIG on MHPSS and Substance Use Prevention Recovery? Ginhawa, Katatagan Online, Lusog Isip Kabataan Education, or KKDK? You can just choose the color if you're on the phone or the answer. Ayan. So Katatagan Online was the course developed by the PAP Special Interest Group on MHPSS and Substance Use Prevention and Recovery. 11 got it correct. All right. Okay. How do I go to the next? Ayan. Nako, tech deficient. Okay. Is it me or is it hanging? Pat? Did it go to the next question?
Not yet.
Even for the participants?
You have to click the next button.
Where's the next? I can't see it on my screen.
Right,
Upper right. Tatakpan yata ng video mo.
Ay, okay. Sorry. Ayan. So, King. Nako, bakit si King nandito? Baka ibang King to. Sino ba to? Alright. Next. Lusog Isip Kabataan Education aims to help blank through mental health and substance use awareness and adaptive coping. Is it teachers, parents, students, workers? Ayan, 20 people got it correct. So the answer is, Lusog Isip Kabataan Education aims to help students, particularly 13 to 18 years old, through mental health and substance use awareness and adaptive coping. Ayan. Sino? Okay, Russell. Russell is in our top one right now. And then sumunod si Mona and Janine. Next, what is one evidence-based self-screening tool included in the current version of the Lusog Isip? Evidence-based self-screening tool. PHQ, DAS21, FCSS, all of the above. Yan, only how many got it correct? 14. A lot of people got it correct. It's the Filipino coping strategy scale. So nakinig kayo kay Patrick. Ayan. Sino? Yung top? Russell, congratulations. Ayan, next question. What age group most uses the Lusog Isip app? Okay. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ayan. So, 21 to 25-year-olds, sila yung mostly gumagamit ng Lusog Isip app as shared kanina by Patrick. Alright. Sino nakakuha ng correct answer? Or sino na yung top natin? Si Russell pa rin. And then, Joy, I assume, and then Jason are top 3, Jobs and Jam. Nako. Trying to connect. Ayan. Next question. Lusog Isip Online is an offline resource for mental health and substance use prevention. True or false? Ako, medyo mahaba pala yung 20 seconds para sa true or false na question na to. The answer is false. Why? Nako, pwede nyo ilagay sa chat box bakit ito false. Sa mga particular sa information, no, or very OC. Bakit ito false? You can type it in the chat box or type it in the Facebook comment section. Yan, sabi ni Joey Intact na Lusog Isip Online is an online resource dapat, no? Hindi offline resource. Meron na ang online dyan. So, isa lang nakakuha ng correct answer. Tama ba? Yan. So, Russell is still leading. Second to the last question, negative effects of substance use include all except is it bad breath, financial problems, HIV, or is it an anti-anxiety? Okay, the correct answer is anti-anxiety. So the negative effects of substance use are bad breath, financial problems, and HIV. Okay, si Russell pa rin. And then second place natin si Jam. Last question. What intervention or workbook in Lusog Isip Online is not yet included in the Lusog Isip app? Is it Katatagan Online, Lusog Isip Kabataan Education, Ginhawa, or what matters most or what matters in times of stress? Okay, the correct answer is Lusog Isip Kabataan Education. Kasi the Katatagan Online, Ginhawa, and what matters in times of stress are all in the Lusog Isip app. So, sino yung top natin or yung winner natin? Ooh, third place is Janine, second place is Jam, and our first place goes to Russell. Okay, so Russell, please message Jonah or King your information where we can send your URC gifts, no, tokens. All right. Ayan. So what is next? Junix? I believe question Ayan. So, thank you so much for those who participated in that quick learning check, no, via Kahoot. Congratulations, Russell, Janine, and Jam, for being very, very attentive in our first part of the webinar. So siguro, as we move to the next part of this webinar, we wanted to ask this question. So in what way can you use Lusog-Isip in the subject that you teach? No? As a current instructor or professor or teacher, paano nyo siya gagamitin? It can be the Lusog-Isip app or the Lusog-Isip website. So as shared kanina, may iba't ibang features ito. Iba din sa app, may similar din sa website. Website has courses, also the app, and resources are available for both. So as a teacher, what or in what way or how can you use Lusog-Isip in teaching your subject? Yan. So again, if using the Mentimeter is challenging at this time, especially with the internet, if there are internet fluctuations or issues, you can type it in the chat box or in the comment section of Facebook or the Facebook Live video. So again, we are live in the PAP Teaching Psychology SIG Facebook page and the Bawat Simula Facebook page of the USAID Renew Health Project. So may mga sagot na tayo. First is integration in doing opinion poll or surveys related to the topic. It could be an activity to appreciate the tenets and theories of positive psychology. Aligning with course objectives. Are there any other methods or like ways how you can use the Lusog-Isip products, no, in the subjects that you teach? So it can, Lusog-Isip, either website or mobile app, can also make students reach people in remote areas. For direct examples, when you teach the subject, I assume, no, kung kailangan ng resources or kailangan ng experiential course to teach them whatever the topic is. Additional resource when teaching abnormal and clinical psychology classes, especially when emphasizing coping for substance-related disorders. Correct, yes. Substance use also information as well. Mental health awareness activities. Yan, okay. So again, thank you so much. You can still continue to write in this Mentimeter your answers, no? Some are still putting or typing in their answers, like to explore different scales related to mental well-being tailored for Filipinos. Yan. So teaching them about mental health, about well-being, if your subject teaches that, Lusog-Isip app is also good. And the Ginhawa program or the Ginhawa course is also good to teach ano yung iba't ibang aspeto ng well-being o kaginhawaan na kailangan natin tutukan din, no, as individuals. So again, it's not only for your students, you can also use it for yourselves. I think there's an additional question here. It can be an activity in the course, and also I can share this app to the students who are struggling with their mental health. Okay, so thank you so much for those who are sharing. Again, you can still continue to type in the Mentimeter or in the chat box or comment sections of Facebook. So now I will turn you to the next section. So in the next section, we will learn how to integrate the Lusog Isip products, the app and the website in your psychology courses. And this will be presented by Pat Ramirez, who is the current chairperson for the Teaching Psychology SIG, and Junix de Los Santos, who is the co-chair. So thank you so much, Junix and Pat. Kayo na bahala sa next section.
Thank you so
Alright.
much, Sir Patrick and Doc Camille. Hi, Junix.
Hello, ayan. Maraming salamat po. Parang okay na ata.
Oo
Yung
nga.
very extensive na yung pagka and parang yung mga na-share ng teachers natin, parang those are really good ideas on how we can integrate. Pero ayan, so kami ni Miss Pat will be elaborating further on how can we, parang paano siya maging mas seamless, no? Wow, alam mo naman, in how we will be delivering our classes. So, ayan. So,
Ang ganda
ah,
ng ganitong resources, no, Junix,
tama.
because
Mm.
as how they've shared it, fast-pacing kasi everything now is fast-pacing and there's that option to have online classes, asynchronous materials, and ang dahil Gen Z ang
Mm.
mga students natin, 'di ba? Well-equipped sila pagdating sa paggamit ng mga websites and paggamit ng mga apps. Just like what I've mentioned kanina, I've specifically used Lusog Isip app in some of my classes. And, you know, the initial reaction of my students, whenever I would tell them there's that available app locally, 'di ba, created, and really focusing on, the context of Filipinos, talagang nagugulat sila. They are amazed, they are surprised kasi most of the Gen Zs would even buy like yung mga international mental health apps. Some would even subscribe paid apps
True.
just to have a mood tracker without knowing na meron pala tayo no na sariling Lusog Isip app at yung Lusog Isip website. Kaya napaka ganda ng opportunity na narinig natin from mismong Dr. Camille and also Patrick, no, yung mga features nung dalawang present natin now, that the website and the app itself.
Yeah.
Sige.
All right. Thank you for sharing. So, mamaya mas makita pa natin yung ideas ni Pat on how she uses the app in her classes. Pero yon, kanina, no, parang siguro lang din, parang to guide us through how we think about our classes or how we imagine our classes. Lalo papasok na yung semester. Is yun nga, parang di ba yun nga, pinoint out na rin ni Pat, no, Gen Z na yung mga kids, kids talaga, that we're dealing with right now. Post Gen Z na nga ata yung iba. Tapos parang there's this notion na parang inisip natin, itong mga to laging naka-plug into their gadgets, parang round the clock. Parang 24/7 yata nagsa-cellphone lang tong mga to. And well, yes, to some extent that is true. Pero 'di ba, parang din sa atin as teachers na we're still supposed to be present, no? So and guide our students. So parang shifting our thinking of our students as baka hindi digital natives, baka they're more, or parang guiding them towards becoming digital citizens. So baka si Pat, paano yung experience mo on this? Na parang guiding your students on using the app, parang overview lang siguro.
Yeah. At this point, syempre dahil iba nga yung profile ng mga students natin, we give them self-directed materials. But just like what we always emphasize, syempre walang replacement sa teachers, di ba? Tayong mga teachers, we're here to really guide them, point them to the available resources that they can access, that they can learn from. Kaya maganda na what we would try to suggest now is to look at, since we've learned about the app and we've learned about the website, pero ayaw din naman nating oversaturated no yung dating para sa kanila. And since we all have that notion kung ano yung sequence, kailan nila iti-take yung mga subjects, in what year and what semester, no, it's also good to see kung saan natin pwedeng i-distribute yung iba't ibang features nung app and nung website. And think of avenue where we can like have a formative or summative assessment tied to these features. Ayan. So I think in our next slide, yun yung ipapakita natin sa kanila. Tama ba, Sir Junix?
Yan,
Ayan.
oo. Actually, parang the question really, no, paano ba, yun nga, paano natin masasabi na successful yung integration? Kasi parang baka iniisip natin, oh sige, supplement na yan, or parang wala na akong ituturo, okay na, total may modules na yung katatagan or yung ginhawa or yung lusog isip kabataan or kung ano mang resource doon. Actually, yan, tulad, i-emphasize lang din natin, no, yung sinabi ni Pat na yung teachers pa rin should be mindful. And, we have time pa naman and maybe we can go through some of these modules para din para aware din tayo when we talk about these things in class. No? So, yan. So, when we talk about successful integration, um, meron siyang, yan. So, it has to be, satisfying these things, routine and transparent. So, yun nga. Parang, tulad ng sinabi ni Pat about situating which part of the resource. Kasi ang dami ng resources and di ba parang nakakatuwa na parang, yan, dyan na lahat pwede nating kunin. So, para lang tayong, para siyang grocery shop or parang buffet. And then you just choose what you need for this specific section of your course and then yung iba, para din hindi siya repetitive. No? And of course, it has to be accessible and readily available. And sabi nga ni Pat and also ni Patrick and Camille earlier, yung ito ay open access. No? And hindi kailangan bayaran, di ba? Sobrang bongga niya. And yung third, supporting the curricular goals. So syempre, as teachers, we have to make sure that this aligns with learning objectives kasi hinahanap yan sa syllabus. And so baka si Pat also has some
And it's also,
yeah.
I also would like to affirm, there are some teachers who responded to our Mentimeter question kanina, and even I think I saw it in the chat box earlier, when they've emphasized that it really has to be aligned with the learning objectives. Of course, we don't want naman na basta may mapa-activity lang tayo, 'di ba? We want to see that they see this the purpose of why we're trying to access the app, we're trying to use the website, and they would see talaga we would see the outcome and the insights that they get from all these.
Ayan, oo. Thank you for that. Ayan. So, yung next slides, ito na yung mga parang we kind of mapped content. Pero I'm sure when you look into the resources yourself, mas marami pa kayong makitang gamit niya. Kaya maganda explore natin itong online resources na ito. But Pat and I, we identify some subjects na pwede nating these resources can be integrated.
And of course, this is
So,
not
I
to say that it's very prescriptive, no?
Mm-mm.
Yung para bang, kung ano yung sasabihin namin ni Junix ngayon, ganun na ganun yung gagawin. Of course, you know your students, you know yung needs nila and the kind of assessment that you would want them, no? To at saka syempre dahil kayo yung nagde-design ng mga syllabus, ng mga modules na ginagamit nyo, what we're after here is to really just suggest kung kami yung mag-handle ng mga subjects na to at kami yung gagamit nung website and app, which I would personally do this semester, no? Ito yung nakikita namin na effective ways of integrating it to the subjects at hand. Ayan, sige. Yan, yung first slide
Ayan.
natin about the subjects.
Ayan. So, yung first, yung sa Lusog Isip app, what we can see here, so we identified several subjects. I know that there are some DepEd teachers or basic ed teachers who are also here with us. So for senior high school there is this subject called personal development, and yung stuff that are in the Lusog Isip app, you can use that in, I think this is module 5 yata, where you have coping with stress and mental health and well-being in middle and late adolescent. So although parang I think for, 'di ba kanina din sabi yung katatagan, it's for 18 and above. Pero baka you can explore some parts of these app like the mood tracker or mood journal, 'di ba? Parang kasi yan, ano yan eh, hip yan sa mga students ngayon na parang, oh, I have an app, tas it's tracking kung ano yung nafe-feel ko every day and all. So, ayan. So, magandang magamit din yan. Tapos, when you go to college, yung sa Understanding the Self, which is a gen ed or a basic or a core course for college students, no? So may yung last unit nito ay managing and caring for the self, and they have their yung they talk we talk about stress and coping, ganyan, positive psychology, and yan. So yung mga material din natin sa Lusog Isip app can be useful for that. And then also for introduction to psychology, so for psych majors, there's a chapter there on health, stress, and coping. So pwede rin nating tignan, no, what aspects of the app can be useful for these. Kunyari, yan, doing what matters in times of stress, di ba? Parang, lalo, parang sa akin, ginagawa ko din, parang naging example ko rin yung sa COVID, for instance, di ba? Parang we all went through that. Well, still going through that, no? So parang how do we anchor that with the learning objectives and then what's out there na material na pwedeng gamitin. So yeah, and then we have other subjects.
Yes, Psikolohiyang Pilipino. What I do here is it would be nice since this specific what's this the Filipino coping strategy instrument is is only seen nga just like what was mentioned kanina sa app, no. What I do is when I ask my students in SICPIL to download the app, I let them go through it. Initially, sinasabihan ko sila to answer that, and letting them answer it can be a point of discussion sa class, no? Kasi they would be acquainted with the unique Filipino coping strategies na meron tayo, at doon ko din tinatry na i-direct sila doon sa iba't ibang available na mga panukat, no, para mapag-usapan namin kung ano as we are no, yung nature, yung introduction ng SP. So basically yung entire features talaga nung app, makikita natin na pinapakita nito yung konteksto ng Filipinos, 'di ba, ng mental health ng mga Filipinos. Kaya maraming mga features na pasok sa SP. Ayan. When it comes to disaster and mental health naman, I think it is through this subject that I first introduced it to my sophomore students, no. For the Lusog Isip app, I always tie it with the module there for caring for yourself and your colleagues, emphasizing that as future PFA facilitators, we are here to help others help themselves, pero kailangan syempre ay alam din nila kung paano pangalagaan ang kanilang mental health. And so dito ko pinapasok yung iba't ibang mga features ng app, katulad na lang nung paggamit ng mood tracker at paggamit ng iba't ibang modules, specifically focusing on katatagan. And I think later, lalo na kapag tinignan natin yung ibang features nung website, i-introduce ko din kung paano, not only sa classes ko, but also in Assumption College where I teach full-time, we try to integrate the katatagan modules. Ayun. Tapos sa positive psychology, different applications, no, of positive psych concepts and theories. It would be nice for them to really have like a session focusing on the online resources for mental health, diba? And it also is good for them to what I would suggest is for them to go through the what matters in times of stress na module. And I would always also suggest na you let them go through the mindfulness audios and videos, tapos I would usually give them journal prompts after, kasi ito yung mga exercises, experiential learning na magsa-strengthen ng mga tinuturo nating concepts sa positive psychology. Ayan. In the next slide, we will also see the different features ng website. Ayan. So doon muna tayo sa self-care resources.
Right.
Sige.
Oo. Ayan. So, thanks ulit, Pat. So, yung mga minention kanina ni Miss Camille about the parang, di ba yung website may self-care resources, self-help courses, and self-help directory. So, parang minap out lang din namin which subjects could parang, so kasi pwede, di ba? Parang pwedeng we ask the students to download the app, parang yung kanina, and we make use of those parang resources there. Or pwede naman, no? Kunyari, sa class, tapos may wifi naman, so pwede natin mag-access. Or if it's parang happening on Zoom, o di ba, pwede naman silang i-guide. So, for personal development, this is again a senior high school course or subject. So parang, di ba, we direct our students, no? Okay, you can go to this website, no? Lalo we're talking about coping with stress, di ba? Syempre, parang you discuss that in class or maybe also ask them, no? For parang, what's good about this is that yung mga ibang resources din ay appropriate for their age, no? Sa senior. And then, going to understanding the self, no? Ito actually parang medyo tricky kasi parang may overlap yung modules ng senior hyperdev with understanding the self in college. Pero ang ginagawa ko sa class is it's more reflective kasi parang when I look at modules for high school, parang more content sila. So dito talagang really getting to know yourself better. And when you go to Unit 3 kasi, di ba na-unpack na nila yung self nila dyan eh. Di ba parang pagpuntahan na nila yung iba't ibang aspects, ganyan. So here, really going to self-care, no? So, ano yung mga pwede mong gawin at an individual level or sa level mo na pwede mong integrate sa daily routine mo, ganyan. So, pwede nating makita. And then again, intro to psychology, same chapter, no, health, stress, and coping. So medyo similar lang din kasi overlapping din naman yung what we can see in the app and also in the website. Although, sabi nga kanina, merong nadagdag for the website. It's the ginhawa. So may isang module na ganyan.
Yes.
So for the next set, we have Pat again.
Yan. So the same goes pagdating sa psikolohiyang Pilipino, sa disaster and mental health and positive psychology. When it comes to the feature of the website, focusing on the self-care resources, most of the activities that I do here are for formative assessment so that I would know kung ano pa yung mga kailangan kong bigyan ng focus. Sometimes I would just let them explore the website. The power of screenshot also, just to give that evidence na yes, I did answer this, yes, I went through this, no, so that it could be a point of discussion and group sharing pagdating sa mga classes ko ng SICPIL, ng disaster and mental health, and ng positive psychology. Ayan. Dun sa susunod na feature ng website, which focuses on the self-help courses, dito mas marami akong nagiging output, no, na minsan ay nagiging parte pa ng aking summative assessment. So let's look at the first three subject first, Junix.
Ayan. So dito, since parang kasi kanina, parang those are just resources. Ito parang courses talaga. They have modules that they work on. So pwede parang we tie it to our classes. So parang mga journal entries, di ba? So parang, okay, you go to this module under this course on Lusog Isip online. Tapos parang you have some questions for reflection tied to your course objectives. No? So parang hindi din natin nahayaan na floating lang. Okay, they went through the module tapos end na. So again, no, anchoring it back to our learning objectives, no? So yan. So what's good about this is that they have the Lusog Isip Kabataan Education, which is for 13 to 18 years old. So swak na swak yan for actually junior high, pwede nga eh. And going to senior high school, no? So pwede siya no during this itong pag nandito ka sa section na to dun sa syllabus mo, pwede mong integrate no yung pagpunta dun sa pag go through dun sa course. Tapos I also saw some of the videos yung Mind is School and parang ano yan, benta yan sa mga students kasi ano siya, parang yun nga, tulad sinabi ko nga, parang medyo interactive din siya. Tapos yung the way it was designed is really appropriate for the age bracket. So yeah. And then for understanding the cell, ako what I did before lang din, because I also facilitate the KO modules. So parang minsan, there was one time parang I encouraged them to join the KO. Pero noong time na yun kasi parang may separate modules pa. Pero now it's integrated na in one website, which is nice. So parang pwede mo na siyang gawing mas regular part of your syllabus kasi hindi mo na kailangan antayin na may run ba ng katatagan. Kasi it's just there, no? So parang mas consistent din, no? Na pwede mo siyang gamitin as part of your activities in class. No? So for intro to psych, yun lang. Siguro i-highlight ko lang yung sinabi din ni Pat kanina na although parang ang dami itong resource, we also have to make sure na hindi ulit-ulit kasi kunyari teacher ka nila na understanding the self tapos pinagawa mo na yung KO ng buo tapos teacher ka nila ulit sa intro di ulit-ulit so parang magtatawa din yung estudyante. So you also have to strategize at yun. So importante na magiging familiar din tayo dun sa features no, ng website para hindi din naman parang ano ba yan si sir? Parang hindi naman na niya inisip. Pareho lang yung activity for understanding the self and intro to psych. So, yan. Making sure that, it's still aligned with our course objectives. So, yan. And then, for the next parts, we have Pat.
And also, I would want to add dun sa sinabi ni Junix, aside from the fact na we would be carefully planning on our own, it would also be nice to talk to your colleagues, lalo na kung merong mga instances where you can have collaboration or webbing, di ba? In instances where you would see ang nakaplot na mga subjects sa isang class would be having almost the same output, 'di ba? Pwede niyo nang gamitin na resources yung available both in the app or in the website and then talk to your colleague, 'di ba? Kung anong output para at least yung mga students din, 'di ba? They would be able to accomplish one output for 2 or 3 subjects kung ilan man yung nagwe-web, 'di ba? So yeah, I would want to emphasize how it can be used in abnormal psychology. The portion in the website, yung kung nakita nyo kanina dun sa slides na ni Doc Camille where the slides discusses how to have a bishop-free lifestyle. Kapag dun sa topic ng substance use, kadalasan isa sa mga pwedeng gawin natin is to give them asynchronous sessions for this where it would really be self-directed. Ngayon kasi Junix, 'di ba, ang directive sa atin is hybrid. 50% on-site, 50% online, 'di ba? So it's a good strategy na yung mga instances where we have digital materials, digital tools, yun yung tatapat mo dun sa time na pwedeng self-directed at online nilang gawin yung mga topics, no? So again, hindi rin naman ibig sabihin na hahayaan natin sila, okay, basahin nyo yung part na to ng website and then you're good, no? Kasi when you go back, if you have synchronous classes or you go back on site, it can be a point of discussion kung ano yung natutunan nila from that part. And then I would let them go through the Ginhawa module and I would give them seat works like I remember giving them infographics as an output after reading the module. Meron ako mga topics na ina-assign sa bawat groups, no? At hinahayaan ko sila to really call information, insights that they got from the website and let them create an infographic. Kasi alam mo, ang dami ngayon. Sobrang galing nilang gumamit ng Canva. Parang si Junix, no? Maaasahan yan pagdating sa mga design and all those outputs, no? Mga creative outputs. Kaya na-enjoy nila yung mga ganong outputs. I also would like to share that in Assumption, during the pandemic, especially no hard lockdown, we really asked help from Doc Gina, from DP, no? We went through some of the like was this sessions sa mga co-leads namin that we offered it also sa mga college students in Assumption. So when we had that, syempre dumami yung kasi in the beginning it was of course parang sign up everyone who thinks you know they need to go through the module they have been experiencing mental health concerns for some reason because of the pandemic, the lockdown, ganyan. Nagsa-sign up sila pero nagulat na lang kami dumami yung nag-sign up. So it was good that during that time I handled disaster and mental health, no? And ginawa ko parang training for trainers yung part ng module namin. So I let them go through the Katatagan online module. Nung time na yun, I think may asynchronous na videos uploaded sa Katatagan website. Pero nag-shift sa app and dun sa Lusog Isip website, syempre nag-shift din ako ng ng resources. And then those who went through that through the asynchronous videos, hinayaan namin kung gusto nilang mag-volunteer as co-facilitator. In that way, hindi lang sila natuto pero 'di ba they would see the application, yung practical side ng mga tinuturo namin. And then of course, pagdating sa disaster and mental health, we also since nag-hybrid na nga kami simula last semester, I've also asked them to do like an online and an on-site PFA simulation. And they've learned soft skills from the modules from the app and from those who use the website. And then mostly for the positive psychology, puro mga journal prompts yung mga binibigay ko as part of their assessment, no? Pagkatapos nilang gamitin yung website. Ayun.
Ayun, thank you, 'di ba? So parang ang dami talagang pwedeng puntahan nito, 'no? Ayan, so siyempre yung gusto din namin i-highlight dito ay 'yun, yung self-help directory. Puwede kasi siyang 'di ba parang the way we design, I guess kasi kunyari for me, yung course outline ay parang mas digestible version of the syllabus kasi some of my students, they don't really read the syllabus. So ginagawa ko may design and all para mas appealing for students and, 'yun. So parang puwede nating ilagay yung self-help directory, a link to it, parang yun nga, kasi quick check siya. Tulad nung sabi ni Miss Camille kanina, you just put parang input mo lang saan yung location mo ta's bibigay niya sa'yo yung mga near, parang centers, no? And also yung crisis hotlines, no? So, parang yung gusto din namin highlight ni Pat dito is, aside from using these as resources for our classes ay gamitin din siyang resources natin, no? For our own self-care routine, no? So yan, baka si Pat would want to elaborate on this?
Yes, kasi as teachers, 'di ba, ang left hook talaga natin dito, we cannot Marnie mention it sa chat box. Sabi niya, I will try it myself first and then make a way to inject it in my classes, no? And that's really how it should be, diba? Parang ang hirap naman pasabakin yung mga students natin kung hindi natin alam how how we navigate the app, how we go through the features of the website, 'di ba? Pag meron silang hinahanap, hindi natin alam or hindi natin ma-pinpoint kasi hindi natin nagamit. And in fact, mahirap din magturo tungkol sa mental health, tungkol sa mga topics na binanggit namin ni Junix kung, we're not after our own mental health. And so it is best to use it first, to explore it first as teachers, and then begin to identify how it could really be useful to your classes and to the subjects that you handle. Tama ba, Junix?
Oo, ayan. So parang we are almost at the end, no? Before we go to Q&A. So parang as you can see here, actually dun pa lang sa discussion ni Patrick and ni Camille kanina, we can already some of parang the many ways where or how we can integrate these resources, no? And ngayon parang mas kinoncretize lang namin kung anong specific subjects ba yan at kung anong chapters ba natin sila pwedeng ilagay. And yun, nagbigay na rin ng mga ideas on how we can assess. Siyempre, importante din sa atin yan, no? Na parang how do you assess the learning objective? So we found out, no, today na there are many ways, no, where we can incorporate these technologies in not only one subject but several subjects, no? And kasi nga it covers a wide array of topics like mental health in general, well-being, emotion regulation, resilience, substance use and addiction, and also coping with stress. So since napakadaming topics nito, pasok na pasok, no, sa ano natin. So baka pwedeng yan, no, parang first meeting ng department o how do we integrate lusog isip sa classes natin. Yung sinabi ni Pat kanina about webbing, I think importante yun. No? Para hindi din ulit-ulit for the students. No? Tsaka minsanan na yung gawa. Tapos parang targeting multiple objectives already. Ayan. So, you can also, yan, so pwedeng pili ka na lang, no, kung app ba o yung online website, ganyan. Tapos yun nga, for the assessment, no, pwedeng reflections, no, journals, nasa yan. And of course, no, as we mentioned also, yung tayo rin as teachers, we can use this resources for ourselves, no, to strengthen our resilience and also our well-being. Tama ba yun, Pat?
Yes, so exciting to hear about all these initiatives and innovative use of the Lusog Isip app and website. It's a vehicle to educate young people about topics like mental health and substance abuse, just like what you said, Junix. If you're interested in using this for your class, no, kahit alin doon or kahit dalawa doon, no, sa mga in-introduce natin ngayon, we can send a poster to invite your students or even your fellow teachers, fellow professors, no, for easy access to the Lusog Isip online. And also in the website, you can also easily download the Lusog Isip app, 'di ba? Parang one-stop shop. At ang pinakamaganda doon, 'di ba? The best thing is it's for free. So siguro pwede tayong i-assist nila Jonah sa paglagay ng link. And I think meron ding QR code na fina-flash si Junix. Tama ba? Ayan.
So ayan, ito yung itsura ng poster that we can share. Tapos, if you wanna partner with, ako talaga yung nagsabi,
Oo.
USAID, Renew Health Project, so po pwede. Yan. So parang they can send you these flyers, no? So this is for students, school, and kung mga teachers and also yung mga workplaces, so pwede rin for adults. So this is how the poster looks like. So pwede naman for collaboration siya. Ayan, tama ba?
Yeah.
Ayan. So actually,
So
sige,
yeah,
go.
so next, can you show it again? This is actually a virtual poster, or a social media card, or something that you can share online or to your students in your schools. So here is particularly for adolescents, no, if you're teaching high school, who will be using the Lusog Isip Kabataan Education course. So the QR code here links you directly to the course, not the site, especially for those who would want to use the course in their classes, para easy access din sa mga students ninyo, no, at hindi na sila mawala sa site. You can insert again your logo after the URC logo, if branding is a concern also, no? The next poster, yung blue, so may difference po, no? It just looks the same. Is the poster for the workplaces or in colleges, or if you teach college, no? Yeah, and then the QR code links you directly to the Lusog ISIP online website. So again, it is in a pilot phase. The selfhelp.cbdr.org.ph website will be pilot tested by various schools. We have partnered with various schools as well, who will be teaching or who will be running the Lusog Isip Kabataan education and some of the courses in their schools. So yes, Ms. Arlene, this is for the general population. Kahit hindi psych students, para din po ito sa kanila. Currently, the USAID Renew Health Project has partnered with various colleges, no, and schools. Some from not in Metro Manila, others from Pampanga, no, who will be conducting the like to their general student population sa high school nila. I think to parang second and third year or first and second year. We have also collaborated with the Ateneo de Manila University for possible partnership in utilizing the courses here in or the like course here in the Lusog ISIP website for NSTP or Big Kiss, tama ba King? It's a possible collaboration that it can be run by facilitators and co-facilitated by NSTP students to other partner sites na adolescent yung audience, no, adolescent participants. So pwede siya in that way. So there are multiple creative ways then, no, to integrate all of these technologies in our teaching, not only for psych students or in psych courses, but if you are an instructor in high schools, no, or you deal with adolescents, then you can share the app or share the website with them. Ayan, so we will send an email to those who have registered or placed their attendance. No, we can send you a copy of the posters. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Miss Camille, for elaborating on that. I think we have a bit of time for Q&A. Ayan. So maraming salamat, Pat. Thank you as well to Miss Camille and Sir Patrick for the session for today. Ayan. So may we call on again Sir Patrick, Miss Camille, Miss Pat for Q&A. Ayan. So meron na nasagot kanina, no? So I'll just siguro facilitate. Ayaw nga pala. Sige. There. Ayan. So para magkakitaan naman tayo. All right.
You have any questions for all our attendees habang nandito pa si Doc Camille and si Sir Patrick? Pwede niyong ilagay yan sa ating chat box.
Ayan. So siguro highlight ko na lang yung sinabi sa question ni Miss Arlene kanina, na yes, no, this can be, these resources, hindi siya limited to just psych majors. Kasi di ba, yung understanding the self, this is a GE core. So everybody in college take this. So parang importante din na, yun, kasi share din, importante, lahat naman may mental health. So everyone will benefit from it. So yeah, thank you.
Alright, may question tayo. Isa sa mga laging tinatanong sa mga webinars. Ayan. Are we going to receive e-certificate?
So for those who typed in the attendance form, no, and you would want to have an e-certificate or attendance certificate, and it will be coming from us, from the USAID Renew Health project. As this is a free webinar by the PAP teaching psychology, and we agreed, no, for those who need lang an attendance certificate, lalo na if you want to file it, yun. You can email Jonah. I think Jonah placed her email there. But for those who have accomplished the certificate of attendance, we will send the attendance to you.
Yan. Thanks, King. I think in-upload in-up niya ulit sa ating chat box yung link for the attendance. So you can just click and put your names there.
Ayan. So, siguro ano lang, parang mga logistical questions. Kunyari, teacher ako, tapos may LMS kami, kunyari Google Classroom or Canvas. Tapos gusto ko kasi andun na yung material sa class ko. Possible ba na ma-download yung videos from the website and then upload it in our LMS? Or what would be your suggestion for that?
The videos in the courses are not downloadable, so they have to go through the course in the website. So what you can do is to put the link of the website in your Moodle, Canvas, or IMS, and they can access it from there. So if ever they want to enroll in the course and if it's a requirement to have a certificate na, syempre mas maganda na may certificate kasi proof of natapos mo yun talaga. They can enroll or register in the courses to also know kung ano yung progress nila. Like for example, I can take module 1 now, but then I cannot finish it, so I'll get back to it. I'll see my progress if I register. And those who take the courses in the Lusog Isip app will get their certificate from the online course. So tatlong certificates possible, the Ginhawa, Lusog Isip, Kabataan, and the Katatagan online.
Okay, another question here. If ever they answer the questions, that the tests included in the app or in the website, will anybody know their answers?
Okay, so I don't no one will answer no one will know their answers to quizzes or a pre and post test. So there is a pre and post test in all of the courses, but no one will know the answers except for the Lusog Isip team who is also doing the pilot evaluation of the courses and of the website. Ayan. So but again, there are interactive discussion boards. So those who, for those, well, syempre kailangan nila mag-submit ng discussion responses then to process their learnings or insights. People can also see that, but they can put an alias or not really the real name, like the one in Kahoot, di ba kanina, kahit anong name, if they value their privacy. Pat, did I miss anything?
Yeah. So for the Lusog Isip app naman, the mobile app version, similar setup. So we just like to assure throughout the development process, we were in very close coordination with the knowledge management and information technology service ng DOH, which makes sure na up to data privacy standards yung information in Lusog Isip. So no one will, very private siya, confidential, your answers to the screening tools as well as to the interventions known will be able to link them to your profile. And similar to the Lusog Isip Online, you can always use an alias lang in the Lusog Isip app. It doesn't require you to use your full name or any identifying information. So if ever man may ma-generate na report from the Lusog Isip app, it's aggregated na. Yeah, so secure naman.
And you've mentioned kanina that students will also get certificate, diba? So another question here is, how do they get the certificate, and is there any passing grade to get the certificate?
Okay, I think that relates to the courses then. So again, as I mentioned, to get a certificate, you really need to register so that the system gets your information of your name, what to put in the certificate, right? And where to email the certificate, or you can download the certificate from your profile. And also to note the progress. So if you completed this particular page in the module, or if na-skip mo siya kasi hindi mo na-click yung submit. And there are learning checks, kaya kanina nagpa-learning check tayo to give you a glimpse of what it is in taking the courses. So there will be learning checks, and learning checks, I think like a 60% passing for those, but these are not exam na parang 100 questions, diba? These are just short but sweet questions din naman to just check if you've read through it or you viewed the video at syempre hindi lang skinip, diba? And then there are discussion questions, as I mentioned, that you need to submit and you need to complete the pages. So to get a certificate, you need to complete the pre and post test, the module, the entire module. The learning checks should be like 60% passing. Yun. And I just want to share with everyone that USAID will also be raffling off merchandise for people who finish at least one Lusog Isip online course by April 30, 2023. So yun, so it will be raffling off merchandise for people to finish at least
Baka
one
naman
Lusog
daw,
Isip.
may pa-merch din dyan for teaching.
Ano na kayo, tapusin nyo na yung course nyo, Pat, in June. Joke lang.
Okay, we have another question here. Can I have access to my organization's data? Can we also use the data for our own program or activity? Can they do that?
For Lusog Isip app, Pat, can they, or is it related to the course, the pre-test and the pre and post test? Siguro no. So if it's related with the pre and post test evaluation of the courses, yes, your organization, especially if it's 30 and above, yung students from your organization who took those courses, we can share the data, no, particular to your organization or institution. But syempre as mentioned by Patrick ano na siya, wala nang names, wala nang identifiers, yon. And then the institutions or organizations can use the data as they see fit, no.
All right. May question pa ba, Pat?
Last question siguro.
Okay.
Who should they contact if there would be like problems with the website or the app?
For
the app, Pat,
and for the app, for if there are any content issues, you can email. For now, you can email me, and I can direct you to the DOH contact who will be managing this. They're kind of settling that. For technical issues, naman with the app, I'll send an email as well. I'll share an email as well as a chat. The contact here will be yung Knowledge Management and Information Technology Service ng DOH. Sige, wait lang.
And so siguro while Patrick is posting that on the chat, last siguro pahabol question lang. So parang Miss Camille, you mentioned something about pilot testing. May deadline ba yon? Para ano yung ano natin app?
Oo, as I mentioned, hindi pa naka-full throttle launch yung Lusog Isip website. The app has been launched last November 2001. 2021. Ayan. And currently, it's going through the 2.0 phase. But pwede na kasi ma-download and everything si Lusog Isip app. Sa Lusog Isip website, we're still piloting it because before we launch it to the entire Philippines, diba, we would want to gather evidence-based data on its effectivity or the usability, diba, if it's useful for the population. Yon. So the pilot stage or the pilot phase will start this January until April 30, 2023. So hanggang April 30, 2023. Hence the merch, no, kung makatapos kayo doon by April 2023. So i-raffle off siya. And I mentioned earlier that the data, no, it's available for the organizations who would wish to want to analyze it. And we will also invite those organizations to a learning session on data analytics by May or June. So wala pa namang set date, but we are planning to have a learning session on data analytics in May and June for the data here in Lusog Isip pilot phase. Yeah. So I would want to ask to answer lang your questions when there are technical issues when it comes to the website. I'll type in the chat box who to contact. So it's Mariel Guevara. her email is there. If there are just issues with the website, you can just email her.
Yun. Thank you for that. So parang exciting. So may look forward pala tayong isa pang learning session about data analytics. Ayun. But unfortunately, ayun, so ang dami pa yatang dumarating na questions. Actually, may nag-text pa din. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this afternoon. Ayan, medyo bibitinin natin para may mga next sessions pa naman. Ayun. So, thank you, Patrick, Neil, and Pat. And of course, to close our activity for this afternoon, to give the closing remarks, let us welcome Dr. Maria Regina Hetsonova Alampay, Chief of Party of the USAID Renew Health Project. Hi, Ma'am Gina. Good afternoon po.
Hi
Hi
everyone.
everyone.
So ang hat ko is USAID Renew Health, but I am a proud PAP member, and parang this is also, I consider PAP my professional home. So hello everyone to all the psych teachers who are out there and listening. Ano na lang, siguro I just wanted to end off on two things. No? Why we did this. When we are asked, why are we doing these kinds of interventions? I always say, the country does not have enough mental health professionals. And for the psych teachers, we know this, di ba? Dinadagsa tayo ng students ng mental health concerns kasi wala silang mapagbalingan. In a country where the ratio of psychologists to Filipinos is about 1:100,000, and there's no way that licensed psychologists can address all the mental health needs of the Filipinos. And so we created these kinds of intervention as a public mental health intervention to address, kumbaga, self-help. People whose needs are not necessarily clinical, but they are distressed. And so these are our way of trying to help our fellow Filipinos. But I also wanted to say that these interventions are by no means a replacement for clinical interventions. I wanted to make that clear. And hindi substitute po itong mga ito for therapy, especially those who have already been diagnosed with mental illness. So we don't want to make the mistake of treating these as clinical interventions. These are, kumbaga sa mental health pyramid, these are self-help interventions. And sa totoo lang po, according to the World Health Organization, majority of people do not need clinical interventions. Ang estimate is mga 10% lang talaga ang kailangan ng clinical interventions. By far, mas marami ang kaya pag self-help. And so this is our contribution to the country and to the public mental health of the Filipinos. So we are hoping that you find these tools useful. And if you do, please help us share these to our students. What we're trying to do is parang embed this as we can in the way that we teach. Kasi since nagtuturo na rin tayo ng psychology and self-help and mental health, we wanted to see whether these tools can be used para mas marami pa ang makapakinabang sa kanila. So, gusto kong i-congratulate ang teaching psychology SIG. Congrats, Pat, Junix. More power to you all, and thank you so much for this partnership. We look forward sa mga published and perished at gusto mag-public publications. We will partner again with the Teaching SIG sa mga may data from this pilot to teach you how to analyze the data para pwedeng isubmit sa site conference, di ba? Pwedeng, para matuloy, di ba? Parang we always believe that evidence-based interventions are important for us to learn. And so we look forward to partnering with you and to continue to learning with you as we put more science in the practice of psychology. Maraming salamat po.
Ayan, maraming salamat, Ma'am Gina. Ayan. Okay. At wala rin na kumuka. Ayan. So, thank you, Ma'am Gina, and also thank you, sa ating mga participants for this afternoon for joining. We hope that you will be our partners in our initiatives to help our Filipino youth care for their mental health and prevent substance use. And of course, as mentioned kanina, hindi to yung last. This is just our first for this year. So, para sa mga psych teachers natin, no, we encourage you to stay connected. Ayan. So, we have our mailing list. No? So, binubuhay namin yung mailing list ulit. So, if you have not been receiving updates from us, so you can sign up for the mailing list of Think Psychology FIG. You can scan the QR code or go to bit.ly/PAPCPSIG mailing list. No? So, we are sending out invitations for future learning sessions like what we had today and mga teaching resources din, no, kung meron. Yeah, so maybe also follow us on our social media accounts. So pretty active naman yung Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We also have a Spotify account, and also the recording of this session will be uploaded in our YouTube channel in the next few days. And so there. Thank you everyone. And what else? And so ito yung ating teaser para lang makita nyo what's in store for us this year. All right. So that's about it. Thank you everyone. Tapos request daw po pala for the panel to have a photo op. So I will stop screen sharing now.
Ayan. Sige. So, just a quick photo op for the panel. Yan, for documentation. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. Sige, thank you so much.
everyone.
Thanks, Patronix.
Thank
Kami
you.
utang kang
Thank you.
merch sa kanilang dalawa.
Oo nga
See you.
oo nga. For the winner
Tapos
kanina.
na.
Bye!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.